But yeah, a lot of Lego investing. I enjoy it. I mean, it's fun to hunt down the deals. It's fun to see what you can get, as far as um, you know, selling them on the aftermarket after the fact. And I know there's a lot of controversy around it. I don't look at it. I don't go out and liquidate, stock, on day one when the set first comes out. I'm not that guy. I'm buying it after it's been on the shelf for a year and a half, 2 years. Everyone's had plenty of their chance to get their hands on it, and then I'm just buying it when retailers are getting rid of the stock. So I don't see anything wrong with that. So I do a lot of that. Ended up doing a video with the Wall Street Journal on that, and put out quite a few YouTube.
Hello, bricks, chicks, and minifigures. You are listening to AFOLs Welcome, where we talk about all things Lego from the perspective of two adult collectors. We're your co-host. I'm Grinch.
And I'm West.
And today we are joined by Lukas, the creator of the Brick Quest YouTube channel. And we're going to talk all about his journey from becoming an AFOL to building a YouTube channel and eventually joining the Lego Ambassador Network. But before we get into that, West, I've got a question for you. And can you guess what that question is?
What did I have for dinner?
Actually, I was going to troll you and I was going to say, can you pass the tacos? So, dang. What did you build this week?
Well, I haven't built anything this week yet, but this week, I don't know about you, Grinch, and I don't know if it's just a thing, but like today, on the day of recording, like I came home from work and school, and I went up to my wife and my daughter, and I was like, guys, did you guys have a good day today? Like my day was just off. It was a weird day. Traffic was bad. Like we had this weird lecture in school and didn't really hit the same way that I thought it would. And like I was like, we need like a night, we just need to like, it's Thursday. Like, let's just get through this weekend or week and we can get to the weekend. And so I say all of that because one of my solutions tonight is building some of these small little, flower, I wouldn't even call them botanicals, but creator flower sets, as just a way to kind of unwind and, take it easy tonight.
I don't know. What is unwinding? I've just been working till 11 o'clock getting my house ready to get on the market. So I don't know what this unwinding is you speak of.
Well, yeah. I've been staying up reading almost till that late every night studying. So I hear you, man. I hear you. Anyways, Grinch, how about you? Build anything this week?
Well, I've been building a beautifully staged house. So that's what I've been building.
Did you include any Legos in your staging?
No, but I did. Unintentionally just realized we forgot one Lego set. First of all, I've been like cleaning up random stuff, and like when you kind of like when you're doing that, we're not packing, we're staging,
right?
So we're just kind of getting stuff away,
right?
And I opened up a cabinet drawer, and I was like, oh, here's 2 brick separators. So I like put them on my kitchen island, and I was like, those will go downstairs. Like I got a box for like random Lego stuff that I find like to keep it organized. So I put those there, and then I'm like in another drawer, and I'm like, oh, here's 2 more brick separators. So I'm like, okay, let me go take those downstairs, and I put them down, and then was in another drawer, and there was 4 brick separators in that drawer. So I think the count got to 10, just random brick separators throughout the house. But then I realized we unintentionally forgot to pack the tuxedo cat, because that's in my wife's office. And I was looking at it today, and I was like, we were getting photos done, and I was like, this is going to be in all the photos. This is awesome.
Much like our fantasy football league's trophy was in the photos of the last house you sold.
It sure was. And I had another from another league this year, and I did not that one I remembered to tuck away. So
Oh, you didn't like put it on the mantle for all the realtor.com photos?
no, you don't want to be too like over,
Pretentious.
impeding. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
if somebody walks in and they see a giant trophy and you're like, I'm not a champion.
You want to be humble, really,
Yeah,
in the
I
presence
can't buy
of your
this. Like,
victory and excellence.
Like if you walked into a house and you saw the Lombardi trophy and you'd be like, oh, like, hey, Mr. Elway, like I didn't know you played football. Like, you'd be like, I can't buy this house anymore. This is so, we tucked that away. We tucked that away.
Somebody really impressive lived here. I just don't know how I measure up to that. It's fair. So, it's a really wonderful tactic, right? Like, you don't want to scare off any potential buyers.
That's right. That's right. People need to see themselves in the house.
Right. So, right.
Yeah. And, not everybody wins a Super Bowl, West.
Get yourself down to like the level of ordinary people.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a tuxedo cat on a cabinet. Just sitting there.
Oh, dear.
Staring at the wall.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I do.
Did you have to assemble it or did it come pre-assembled?
That one we got at the shelter, actually. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I do
Good
actually.
For you. Good for you.
It is funny because our realtor was like, we're going to go to a hotel this weekend. He was like, are you like taking your cats with you or are they just going to be here? And I was like, oh, we're taking them with. So I kind of like, should I set up a hidden camera with that cat and just put the cat around the house and just like have somebody turn the corner and the cat's just sitting there on the floor like, meow. That would be kind of funny.
Yeah.
So,
oh, dear.
no, I bringing it back to Lego, I did.
Is that what we're here to talk about?
Like, I think so. I spent like an hour on Studio working on my next mock. It's time to start digitally designing these mocks since the collection's packed. I'll be doing a lot of digital designing, and I'm sure I'm going to have to go crack a Lego set eventually here. I'll go. I need to go get that S2000 and the Majestic Horse. So they'll be Lego.
Nice.
Exciting Lego news. Well, moving is not exciting, but do you know what is exciting? Our news.
Okay.
So West, why don't you take us through the news this week?
Well, Grinch, first up in the news, we had a reveal today, actually, Thursday, August 21st, of the Lego Willy Wonka Ideas set. We have an update for Lego Ideas and this release stage. Lego Batman Legacy of Dark Knight announcement trailer just dropped this week. We got information about Lego Bricklink account integration coming up on September 18th. And as part of kind of the upcoming wave of Harry Potter sets, we got information on the Room of Requirements official image for the new Hogwarts Castle set. So, Grinch, what stood out to you this week?
I want to talk about something that you might not see coming.
Oh.
And that is this Room of Requirement. We talked a lot about gift with purchases. So this is the gift with purchase for Hogsmeade.
Yeah.
What do you, and we need to preface this with neither you or I are really Harry Potter collectors. I get it if my wife wants it because she's a Harry Potter fan. I'm so. You've read the books, but we don't really get into the Lego much. And we don't have a ton of listeners that have shared that they're Harry Potter fans. So if you are, please do so.
Correct the record.
But what do you think of the set? Specifically, we talked about like exclusive sets, right? So there's nothing super desirable about this set, except for the fact that it can attach to the minifigure scale, not minifigure scale, but the play scale castle as an additional room. So how do you feel about that?
I mean, we've had a very, long conversation about gift with purchases, and I saw the images of this one and I thought that was just a set, to be honest. And I thought, oh, yeah, that was kind of neat. I'll call out, I think a great part usage is using the transparent canopy piece in a
in dark green.
Yeah, and it looks like a hammock, right? It's an opaque color, and it looks like a hammock. I was like, geez, how has that not been done before? Like on camping sets, and city sets, like around a campfire or whatever. Like, what a great idea. So I'm sitting there looking at this set going like, wow, this is really neat. At the same time, I just think it's really unfortunate that if it's going to be something that can be included into the castle like that it's not just more widely available. So I feel like it's a bit of a miss on Lego's part.
Yeah, and I think it comes with Neville Longbottom too. So like, it's not. I mean, well, that's not. Well, it's a liked character. It's not Ernest Shackleton, for example.
Right.
But yeah, the fact that it actually, but you can't tell until you go to the back of the box. That's like, hey, fits in with. I think set 76454 is what I can read. The Hogwarts Castle. So Harry Potter fans, let us know in this week's Brick Mail. Like, are you peeved by this or not?
I think though, and let's be honest, right? Like the gift with purchases have always been kind of ancillary sets to the main set, right? This has nothing to do with Hogsmeade, but has everything to do with a system that Lego's invested itself in, right? And that's where I really like it gets my goat is like if somebody were building that Hogwarts castle, that play scale Hogwarts castle, this would be ostensibly a room that they're now missing. And I just think like why not make this more widely available? So yeah, that's my
when they did Gringotts and they had the bank vault extension that you could put on at the bottom of the track.
Right, like nobody needed that necessarily, right? Like your set was really complete without it. And it does feel weird too, like, right? Like it's a Hogsmeade set. And this is this gift with purchase that has nothing to do with Hogsmeade. It's just in the Harry Potter universe. Like, I don't know. I understand why Lego does it. I'm not a fan. We've already made that clear on the channel and on the podcast. I think you're kind of more mixed on it too. I'm not necessarily not a fan, right? Like I think they sometimes have some really cool gift with purchases. I think that's a shame that it's not more widely available to a larger audience. And
yeah, I am a fan, but I think it can be done better. But this one was a little weird for me because, like I said, and like you pointed out, like it doesn't have anything to do with Hogsmeade.
Yeah. It would be like having the Gringotts set and then having like something from Diagon Alley or something like that, but like the brick wall, or whatever. And it's like, okay, like,
or
they're
the Polyjuice
tangentially
potion mistake in the bathroom of that Hogwarts.
Right. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, that all comes from the Harry Potter universe, but I'm not sure why it's in this set.
Good. So, yes, that is Harry Potter, yes.
And I will summarize kind of the previous point if listeners haven't heard, right? Lego is now making more expensive sets. And these gift with purchases are filling in a niche of what used to be those $20, $30 sets that like Lego just isn't producing at the same rate anymore. And so that's where I think my biggest gripe is with this is like, this would be a set that I would theoretically buy had Lego offered it for sale, right? And now I can't get it because I have to pay a $200 paywall just in order to go get it. So like a great example is like the newspaper kiosk from the last modular. Like that's a wonderful, cool set to include in a city. Or like any of the delivery van from the Jazz Cafe or the that hot dog cart van or the hot dog from the
hot dog.
Wasn't that was the museum, right? The hot dog cart, the hot dog truck.
Yeah.
That was a really cool set, right? But like you got to pay $300 to go get the gift with purchase,
or $50, $40. Usually they're around $40. Yeah, if you go Bricklink route.
Sure. So you can always get it on the secondary market, right? I just think it's a shame that Lego just doesn't offer it for sale. But I really don't think they need to incentivize us buying Legos in this capacity anymore. Like they've cornered the market. They've pretty much got a pretty steady demand. I would be curious if market research shows if it makes a difference. Certainly it probably makes more day one purchase difference, but
I think this is where I've been a Lego collector long enough, and I've bought enough Lego sets that it's people often look at this as like a discount,
Yeah.
but it's truly a gift with purchase. And I think it's a little bit of just like glass half full or glass, half empty. Like, this is an additional Lego set that you're getting because you're buying it. Like, here's the cherry on top for you. You just have to buy within the first week, but here's the cherry on top for you. Here's a little something extra just for you for being a loyal Lego purchaser. Right? Because there's different. You could promote something if you want to move volume, but you discount it, right? Or typically, traditionally, you drop the price a bunch. You say buy 2 and you get this much off, or whatever, right? That's gonna. But when you do a gift, it's more of like, we want you to also have this, right? Because this is something a little extra for you. This is a little extra value, right? When you're going to college, go buy a MacBook and we'll throw in an iPod Nano for free. That's what they always used to do, when we were in college and they used to make iPods still. Like, you didn't need it, right? But it was just a little extra kind of incentive of like, here's a little something extra for you.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
sometimes sometimes we kind of look at things through a different lens and maybe an unintentional lens, right?
We've speculated, or I know I speculated that this could all be an attempt to like cover down, week 1 sales, right? And basically just meet a quota by incentivizing the week 1 purchase of something. Like I said, I'd be curious, what sort of data exists that proves or demonstrates that somebody was not going to buy the set anyways. I don't know how you would measure that, right? But like, if you were going to get Barad-dûr, regardless of whether or not there was a gift with purchase, either on day 1 or on week 1, like, then the gift with purchase actually isn't doing anything other than creating an artificial demand for the set and kind of, expectation, management and potentially some hurt feelings when you don't get one, for example.
Who got their feelings hurt?
You do see Lego trying to balance that, right? Like, they do try to avoid, for the most part, relatively exclusive minifigures. Now, Gustav Eiffel's apartment, Ernest Shackleton and the Endurance, some of the, clearly they haven't completely shied away from that, but they generally try to keep them fairly generic. So I applaud them for that, right? I mean, they could throw in some really exclusive stuff and then just really send us all into a tizzy. But
can I admit something?
Yeah. To save
this
place.
Is all my fault. This is all my fault. In fact, this is all everybody's fault, and I'll tell you why. It was 2018, I want to say, because I was living in Virginia at the time. I think it was 2018. Lego hasn't traditionally done this much gift with purchasing, right? It was typically they would do a threshold. Spend $200. May the 4th was about as like tactical as they'd get. Like, here's a specific Star Wars promo.
Yeah.
But they would typically do like a, maybe a special Ninjago promo or maybe a special Harry Potter. But it was spend $200 on Harry Potter in September and get this poly bag or whatever, right? It wasn't the like, hey, when you buy this expensive set, you get this gift. And there was a survey that Lego really pushed for like a solid 6 months to a year back in like 2018. Might be a little off on that timeline, but it was all around. I think it was like literally like, I want to, after this, I want to go dig through my emails just to see what it was called, but it was like shaping the future of our gift with purchases. And I took that survey and the questions were like, when you're buying a bigger set and there's a gift with purchase, what do you like to see? And it was like, a set that accompanies, a gift with purchase that accompanies the set, like just a random set, just a random whatever. And you bet I said I'd love to see a set that accompanies that larger set.
You ruined it for the rest of us.
Lego's just so out of touch with its fans that they listened on that survey that I filled out, and darn me over here.
Yeah.
But that's enough about gift with purchases, West. I'm sorry. I know I got us derailed, but we've had so much conversation in the past that I felt like this one was just a little different. And I think it wasn't more of the same of like, oh, it's just, this is the first time they're releasing, I don't know, what's Albus Dumbledore's brother. I think he lived in Hogsmeade or something like that. Like, it's not like they're releasing that mini figure in the gift with purchase. Like it was truly like, this is something kind of totally different within the Harry Potter world, but also not standalone. Like it accompanies something else.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Before we move on, I just wanted to mention that and update our listeners. We've done this a few times in our summer 2025 kind of season or section of our episodes, but I just wanted to update everybody on the status of Lego ideas right now. As of yesterday, and this is as of August 20th, 2025, 132 sets have been met the 10,000 vote threshold for this review period.
That's like 132 million votes. That's a joke. That's
fair enough. Point is, right, like this is unprecedented, and we still have time in this review stage, right? We're wrapping it up. We're getting to the end of this third of the year, so we can expect at the end of August is when this review stage should end, right? Because then we'll have the kind of fall winter review stage. It's just insane. 132 sets, like holy cow, right? And there's 9 more days to go, and we've seen 20 sets get approved or reach that 10,000 vote threshold in the span of a week, right? So I think we could end up with something like 150, 160 sets by the time we're done with the month of August, which is going to make for an incredible episode on our ends of reviewing and talking about each 160 of those sets, every single one. But
only
also,
if we get 132 likes on YouTube on this video.
There you go. Yeah. The number of likes has to correspond with the number of sets in the review period. And then we will do that. A 30-second, time block for each set.
This is Willy Wonka the Ideas. Okay. This is Totoro.
Just, shotgun
Totoro,
reviews.
Cool. I like Totoro. Okay, next. Speaking of ideas.
Yeah.
Willy Wonka, what do you think of the set?
I mean, I don't know. It's just not for me. But
dang.
I mean, I don't know. I like the movie, but like it's not like foundational in the, West's like, critical movies that have influenced who he is and his hopes and dreams and, how he sees the world. Like, so.
You're telling me you don't like candy?
Definitely have no issues with candy.
So you lied. No, I'm just kidding. I did. We don't have a ton of brick mail, so I thought we could just sit a little bit longer on some of these news items. The Bricklink Lego account integration starting September 18th. You have until December 31st to integrate your accounts. You just have to link them. Otherwise, I believe your Bricklink account will go bye-bye. And you'll have to create a new one. So,
I mean,
keep that in mind.
I like Lego's gradual takeover of the Bricklink infrastructure. I hope that they continue to honor everything that it is, but I think we've seen some nice UI improvements, some user interface improvements on Bricklink. I think we'll probably continue to see some, and the potential for that to effectively, like, eventually become just a part of Lego, right? Like, you could totally see Pick-a-Brick and Bricklink integrating in some, fashion where like maybe Bricklink eventually just gets absorbed by the Lego website and you can now buy new and used Lego from the I don't know if it would ever go that far. In fact, now that I say that out loud, I think that's probably not going to happen, but you could see different elements of that, right? Like occurring, or maybe on Bricklink, they'd migrate like the Pick-a-Brick to Bricklink or something like that. And now you do have that choice of like buying used or new. I don't know. I think just there's so much out there that Lego could do with their integration with Bricklink, which is pretty neat.
I don't think you'd want to sell retired Lego sets on Lego because I think from a brand perspective, I don't know, have you ever seen those Amazon reviews of like a retired Lego set that are like, oh my God, Lego's getting so expensive. They're charging $60 for this mech. Like, that's insane.
enough.
It's like, well, like
Fair enough, yeah.
it's retired. And I think I was watching an Atlanta Brick Co. video where they were interviewing the owner, and he was like, it's a real problem because, you know, parents will come in with their kids, and their kids, of course, will want, you know, the UCS Death Star from 2003, and like they'll just say, and you had to explain to the parent will check the price tag, and it's thousands of dollars, and they're like, why is this so expensive? You know, so he's like, oh, it's so I think you'd want to keep that brand experience separate, right? Because then you'll start to get a reputation, which they have already kind of have.
Sure. But no, I mean, that's a wonderful point, right? And the other thing too, right, is like Lego's point of sale on their Lego website is for themselves, right? But like Bricklink is effectively a middman. And so
it's a secondary marketplace.
Like I said, after saying it out loud, I but the linking of the accounts is really fascinating. I wonder if you could get VIP points through Bricklink purchases.
Oh, dude, I'd be so rich.
There's so many VIP points.
Because I spent all my money on Bricklink. And then Dark Knight game. This is exciting. It's the TT game, so it's the classic kind of Lego game company or software house. But it's the first, I think, Lego game since was it the Skywalker saga a few years ago? So
did the TT games do the Horizon Forbidden West?
They did not.
Okay.
So this is kind of the first, you know, they used to come out with multiple of these a year. So
yeah.
I mean,
I saw the trailer. It looks great.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how they've updated their formula a little bit.
Yeah. And I know we talked about it in the past. They've definitely, you see it in the trailer, have transitioned to like open world formula, which I think looks really cool. It does, based off the trailer, feel more like an Arkham Knight, you know, game than anything else, which is kind of an interesting crossover for Lego. So.
Absolutely. So, West, why don't we get Brick Quest up in this podcast and dive into this week's topic?
Let's do it.
Today's topic. Our guest today is the creator behind the YouTube channel Brick Quest, where he's been exploring Lego one brick at a time. Today, we're going to talk about his journey from those first sets as a kid to growing a YouTube channel to becoming an ambassador for the hobby he loves. Welcome to the show, Lukas.
Thank you. Glad to be on with you guys.
We are glad to have you, Lukas. We met at Brick World Chicago, and we chatted and said we got to get you on the podcast. And you've got a YouTube channel, so we thought you would be a good one to have on because you can kind of talk about this whole content creation aspect of the world of Lego.
Yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, it was fun. Brick World Chicago was great. So, yeah, it was great.
Will you be back next year?
I'm hoping to be. Yes, I'm definitely hoping to be. I don't see why not, but you never know.
Yeah. It's a long way away, right?
Yeah, and it's you got to take a week, and all the things that come along with that. So, but yeah, it was a ton of fun, and it was just great meeting everybody. So I think I need to for sure.
And West will be there next year.
Fingers crossed, as long as I'm not moving again, I will be there next year. Potentially.
I'm taking that as a full commitment.
Yeah, that's a full commitment in my book.
At this point, it's a full commitment. We'll see.
Oh, snap. Breaking news live on AFOLs Welcome. Last time you said that, you never went, so...
Well, at the time that I committed, I could have gone. It just turns out later on that I couldn't have, so, to quote Dr. Ian Malcolm, life finds a way. So,
or doesn't find a way to Brick World. No,
Yes.
just kidding. We troll. Welcome to the show, Lukas. We're glad to have you. How about you tell how did you become an AFOL in the first? I mean, you had to start somewhere, right? So how did the story start?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a little bit of a different story. I actually grew up in another country. I grew up in South Africa for the first 14
Cool.
years of my life. Yeah. So grew up in another country, but grew up in the 90s with Castle and Pirate and the whole nine. And, definitely that was a lot of fun for me as a kid, as for most. Got out of it, went into high school, the typical thing, kind of my dark era, if you will. Got into college, didn't really, kind of fell off my radar at that point in time. But then I had my first son, Bruce, and I went to Chicago, and I actually, with a buddy from college, we went to Chicago, and there was a Lego store in the Chicago. We just decided to stumble in there, and I ended up bringing back a City, which is one of the only like 2 or 3 City sets I've ever purchased. But I brought back a City Fire like station. I thought it was pretty cool. And Bruce, I think he was only probably like 3 or 4 at the time, so he didn't really build it all too much. I built it kind of for him, but he had fun, just kind of watching and doing what he did. But yeah, I just remember building that and it just being a lot of fun. It just kind of brings back all the memories, come flooding back when you do something like that. So that was kind of the first kind of step. And then I was in Pittsburgh, so not too far from Detroit, and I got an email. I don't even know why. Maybe it was from that original, shopping trip to the store in Chicago there. But I got an email for the Lego Flintstones set, and I watched the Flintstones when I was a kid. Yeah, kind of a weird set, but I saw that. Somehow I got an email about it, and I was like, man, that is so cool. It had, the minifigures and the whole thing. So I was like, I'm going to just go and pre-order that. So I pre-ordered it, got that, loved it. And then it just went downhill from there.
Or uphill, depending on how you look at it, right?
Exactly. But yeah.
So I got to ask, since you're a Flintstones fan, because I guess West and I had been kind of back in the full swing of it at this point when the Flintstones came out.
Okay.
And it was a little bit of a controversy at the time. How do you feel about the minifigures not having noses?
I honestly, it never really bothered me. I don't know. It never, honestly, that was like the first set of like kind of getting back into it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really on my radar. I was so off the, out of it with Lego at that point in time, but that is kind of funny you bring that up.
Well, it was a big, because it was an idea set. And so the idea submission, the person who did, I still to this day don't know how people do custom minifigures as well as they do on ideas. Like, they do a really good job. But Fred Flintstone in the set had a printed nose, and I
don't think I ever noticed that.
Yeah, you'll have to look it up afterwards, because it does look kind of silly when you see that one versus the one Lego came out with. They like kind of made the nose imprint around his beard, and he's smiling. And so it's there, but it's not there. So
I'm gonna have to go back and look at that closer now.
It was one of those like original, internet talking points of like, oh, why are they changing idea sets? The original one was better, and this was one of those sets that kind of started some of that.
Interesting topic.
Yeah, that's always fun to listen to.
Yeah.
So, the hardest question you'll get all year. Favorite theme?
Yes, that is a tough one. So probably would have to be Icons. There's so many good sets that come out of Icons. I guess Lord of the Rings kind of falls into the Icons category. I'm big on Lord of the Rings.
Nice.
I actually just purchased the last sealed 2012 Lord of the Rings set, so I've got every single one sealed at this point.
Which one did you what was your last one?
The last one that I got in the mail was Helm's Deep.
Nice.
So all the 2012. I'm working on 2013. I actually, at Brickworld Chicago, I picked up, I don't know, we might have talked about it, but I picked up Tower of Orthanc.
Oh, nice.
That was for a pretty good deal. at the garage sale there.
I
But
hope for your case.
yeah. But yeah,
It only
probably
cost me my
icons.
second-born son.
What did you say?
I said it only cost your second-born son.
Yeah, I know. I got a good. I think it normally goes for 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, something like that. And I threw out a number. I think it was like 700 or 800. I threw out to the guy, and he's like, "Well, let me go ask the guy that owns it." And he went back, and the guy came back. He's like, "Yeah, I'll do that." And I was like,
Oh, wow.
okay, all right, perfect." So
I was just at Brick Fair and they were trying to get 14.
yeah. Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so.
obviously it's only going to continue to go up, but yeah, I think 700 or 800 I paid for that new sealed in box. So not bad. Still expensive, but yeah, probably icons, probably Star Wars, close second. Big on Star Wars. Ideas is one that I enjoy a lot of. So I dip into a lot of different themes. I enjoy a lot of it. So it's a tough one to answer, but icons and Star Wars are up there.
Yeah, and I feel like icons is a good one because you get so much just diversity of flavor, if you would. You got the cars, giant castle builds, Lord of the Rings. I mean, you get a little bit of kind of everything.
Exactly.
And do you have a favorite set?
Yeah, I thought about that one. If I were to say, there's kind of multiple at the top for me.
You could say multiple. That's okay.
Yeah.
We were gonna do a favorite set episode, and we ended up just doing 5 each because we just.
What was close to your guys' top list of the list? You want to ask?
Yeah, Ninjago City.
Okay, that's actually
Rivendell.
one. That's actually one that came to my mind.
Ninjago City is phenomenal.
Yep.
The Imperial flagship.
Okay, yeah. So that's a little bit of an older one.
Mm-hmm. I'm blanking on the episode. Wes, what were some of yours?
I can't. I think we did that like a year ago.
Well, like mine, like you said, I'd put Ninjago City way up there. That was just an amazing set. The Avengers Tower is definitely up there for me. That was an amazing build. Obviously, I just talked about Lord of the Rings, but Rivendell, Baradur, both of those are incredible. Old Fishing Store. Either of you built the Old Fishing Store?
That's a good one.
No.
Yeah, that's a great set. I don't know what it is about it. It's not like it's super, crazy. It's not an Avengers Tower, $500 or anything, but it's just a cool set. It's just it's a feel good set. The store, and you got the scuba gear and the counter and everything. So those are probably, my top. But if I had to put one at the very, very top of that, it'd probably be Ninjago City or Rivendell, probably one of those two.
It's a good list.
Great choices. Yeah.
Good list.
And I'm not a big Ninjago fan. I don't know what it is about the Ninjago City line of modulars, but they're good. They do a good job with them.
Yeah, and it's not even the modular aspect for me. It's just they're just fun.
Yeah. They got good colors.
Yeah, I was looking at my collection with my wife, and she was like, "Oh, got Black Pearl over there. I really love that set." And I was like, "Yeah, but Ninjago City's over here." And she's like, "Yeah, but Ninjago." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's Ninjago City." And she's like, "I don't. What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "What is wrong with you?"
Do not tell me you have the Black Pearl.
I do. I have all the Pirates of the Caribbean sets. Yes,
man,
yes.
That's a good set.
That actually, West bought that. Well, not bought it. He fronted the money to. He was at a store and they had it.
Oh,
and I was like, can you just drop a cool like 800 on that for me and I'll pay you back? And he did, and then I just Venmoed him the money and
nice.
Yeah,
rest of history.
Yeah, there's one Pirates of the Caribbean. You probably have it then if you have them all. Man, it's blanking right now. What's the one with? It's got like kind of the it's got the sharks.
the Silent Mary.
Silent Mary. That's one that's on my
It's a great ship
list to get at some point. I just think that set is really cool looking too.
I never appreciated that set until I built it.
Really?
I always thought it looked cool, but I think I had built the Queen Anne, and then I built Silent Mary like back to back. And the Queen's and Revenge is the other, it's the red ship, and it's very similar to like the Black Pearl. It's just a little bit longer, but same style. It's got
Okay,
the
yep.
kind of preformed pieces, uses like 4 of those, and the sails. The Silent Mary, it's more similar to building the Endeavor, if you built the Endeavor, where
I did not.
you're building the hull out of bricks and
Okay.
then
The
kind of
Endurance.
building around it. Endurance, I'm sorry. Why do I always call that the Endeavor?
The Endurance.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Endurance.
The
Sorry.
Endeavor is a ship. It's just a spaceship, not a sailing ship.
Oh, okay.
One can dream. One can dream. No, if you built the Endurance, you know how
I
there's a
haven't built
lot
it yet.
more.
I do have it though.
Oh, that's a great build. You got to build that.
I've
Yeah.
heard it's sitting on my shelf. I haven't gotten around, but I've heard it's amazing.
So you're on YouTube. Where can people find your work? What could tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. I mean, I mainly spend most of my time on YouTube. That's the platform I enjoy the most. If I'm consuming content, typically it's YouTube content. So I just enjoy kind of more the long form aspect of it. Brick Quest, or the Brick Quest on YouTube, I guess Brick Quest specifically as far as a handle was taken. So the Brick Quest on YouTube, but Instagram, TikTok, I do more kind of short form stuff there. That's also Brick Quest. So all my platforms pretty much on most of everything.
And we will link that in the description so any of our listeners can go and check you out.
Cool.
And see your work, because you do a lot of reviews, right?
Yeah. I mainly stay in the review side of things, and that's most of what I enjoy. I enjoy the building of the sets. I know reviews can get a little bit more boring and tedious, so I try to jazz them up a little bit, but I've got ideas and things that I want to branch out a little bit with and try. So I like to try, throw kind of a weird video in there every so often. So you never know what you're going to get on my channel. Sometimes it completely flops, but that's okay. I have fun with it.
What first brought you to reviews to start with? Did it just something? I know it's a very popular format for Lego YouTube. And so were you just trying to dip your toes into something you felt like you could, access easily, or was there something about reviewing the sets that really stood out to you?
I don't know. I mean, like if you look at some of like my earlier videos, I did like some of the speed builds, and I guess I was in those early days, I was just kind of enjoying the hobby. And it's easy, you get a good set you like and you just kind of want to show it on a video, whatnot, and you watch other YouTubers on there, and most of them are doing some type of, at least at that time, over 5 years ago, a lot of speed builds and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, this must be the thing to do. So I guess, and it's kind of evolved definitely over time, but I enjoy going back to the core of it. I enjoy building a good Lego set, the different details that you find when you're building it, and showing those in a video is kind of go hand in hand for me.
Well, I definitely know that like when I watch YouTube videos, like Lego YouTube videos, I really appreciate the reviews to see like what exactly, like you're saying, like what it is about the set that really stood out to you in that build process. And while it doesn't necessarily maybe motivate me to go get the set, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's a nice way to sort of live vicariously through you, the builder and the reviewer. And I get to see it and I'm like, oh wow, that's so cool. And it's just another way to engage in the hobby, but I think it's a really great way for you guys to showcase kind of what makes these sets so special.
Oh yeah, I agree. And I mean, I have, my full list of YouTubers that I enjoy watching, and, I'll hop on there and I'll watch Tiago Catarino's, his thoughts on it, and you get, this YouTuber's thoughts on it. And yeah, it's just interesting. And sometimes you're influenced without even really knowing it. Like I always think back to one, what was it? It was the Icons Land Rover, or I think is not the Land Rover, something Rover. I'm forgetting it offhand. It's actually retiring this year. It's like the sand green one. Forget what
Defender.
Defender, that's it.
Yep.
I thought that set looked horrible when it first came out. I was like, yeah, I don't. That doesn't strike me at all. And then I watched Solid Brick Studios do a review on it, and for some reason, ever since that video, I've wanted the set. It's like, yeah, so it's definitely it's weird how that works on you, but yeah, it's fun. It's fun to put stuff out there and watch what other people are doing as well.
That's how I got Ninjago City.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Who did it? Solid Bricks?
There was Jang Bricks, Jang is very thorough. So I sent West a video. I was like, hey, we were kind of just getting back into Lego at the time, and I was like, hey, here's a 50-minute Lego set review. Like, just trust me, it's worth it. And I think your response was like, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, good thing he convinced you to get it, because the price on that thing now is outrageous.
No, he didn't convince me until way later, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I wasn't fully convinced when I watched it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
What is the hottest take on a review that you've had in the, I don't know, recent reviews that you've done? Anything where you're like, oof, what I just put out, that was spicy.
Ugh.
In a good way, or like, it doesn't have to be like controversial. Just you're like, this is the greatest set.
Maybe, I don't know if it was controversial or not. It seemed like maybe it could have taken a little bit that with some of the comments on the video, but I did a review on the full summer wave of Star Wars, and obviously that was a pretty controversial wave. But I know obviously a lot of the talk was about the Republic Juggernaut and how that was falling apart and should have had a grab handle, and if you picked it up, it was falling apart in people's hands. And I just didn't have that. I didn't have that experience with the set, and obviously I put that in the video. It just it wasn't. Could it have been a little bit more solid? Yes. I mean, it probably could have had a few Technic bars going through the top or something. So I'm not saying it was a perfect build, but I just didn't feel like it was, just completely. Now, price wise, yeah, it's not even anywhere in the ballpark of what it should have been. So completely overpriced. But that pretty much everyone agrees on. But outside of that, most people. So I had a few comments on there like, hopefully the other YouTubers don't come after you, and this and that. And for me, it's just my opinion. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong, and it's other YouTubers' opinion. But so for it, it's not about that for me. But yeah, I've had a few other city ones that cities. I don't really do a lot of city, but I had a couple city sets. The Harbor, I think, is what it was called. It was a year and a half ago. I ragged on that one pretty bad. A lot of people, were kind of defending it. And yes, it does look like a harbor. I just didn't get it. So, yeah, a few here and there. I mean, obviously, I enjoy Lego, so it's there's it. You have to kind of dig through some of the things to find the bad stuff, but those are probably the ones that kind of first come to my mind.
Yeah.
So when you said you kind of started, you were just having fun with the hobby. Was there a particular reason though that you were like, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel?
I don't even remember really why I started the YouTube channel. I was doing some posting on like Facebook, and I think one day I just really was like, let me put a YouTube video up. Let's make it more video content versus like pictures. And I think that's really where it started. And my first video was with Bruce. It's horrible, but it was a video.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's still there. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
good for you.
Yeah, I like to keep it up just as a reminder. It's very raw, very very uncut, and yeah, it's a little bit of a mess, but it was a first video, as a moment with Bruce. We had a good time. It was unboxing the Barracuda Bay when that came out. So it was just that great set, just bad video, but I just unboxed it. That was about it. But yeah, that's kind of where it all started. I don't know why I specifically went towards the YouTube route.
Sometimes you just get to a point with the hobby where you're like, I want to engage more.
Yeah.
And you know, I think it's a simple transition. It's sometimes you don't need a reason. I was posting on Facebook and Reddit and was like, why not make a video? I mean, that's perfect
Yeah.
reason in my opinion. So
Yep.
and your content's changed over time. I mean, you mentioned you started with speed builds, but didn't you dabble a little bit in investing and
Yep.
then
Yeah.
how has that changed?
Yeah. Lego investing. That's that whenever I put out videos with Lego investing, they always did very well. And I was doing a lot of it at that time. And I still do a decent amount of it. Not as much anymore. Still a decent amount, but not as much as I was in the past, I should say. Just for the simple fact that it's become so much more busy now with content than what it was. I used to just do what I wanted back in the day, and that's not what it is anymore. So I just don't have as much time to just buy and sell as I used to. But you'll see a couple things coming up here in the next actually a couple days where I'll be doing some of that. But yeah, a lot of Lego investing. I enjoy it. I mean, it's fun to hunt down the deals. It's fun to see what you can get, as far as um, you know, selling them on the aftermarket after the fact. And I know there's a lot of controversy around it. I don't look at it. I don't go out and liquidate, stock, on day one when the set first comes out. I'm not that guy. I'm buying it after it's been on the shelf for a year and a half, 2 years. Everyone's had plenty of their chance to get their hands on it, and then I'm just buying it when retailers are getting rid of the stock. So I don't see anything wrong with that. So I do a lot of that. Ended up doing a video with the Wall Street Journal on that, and put out quite a few YouTube videos on that. So good majority, like during that time, my mindset was like, hey, let me put out, because people liked those videos. So I was like, let me do 60 to 70% investing, but I enjoyed the review side and just the Lego building side just as much, if not more. So I was like, let me, do 20 to 30% of that. And then slowly I've tried to kind of flip flop those numbers. But tomorrow I'm actually coming out with my top 10 Lego investing and collecting videos. So I still put that stuff out there.
Well, and for the listeners, that will be last Friday, technically.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
So,
Friday.
So
Friday,
go back, scroll in the past videos.
August 21st. No, I do one video a year. It always does very well. It's just my top 10 sets of the year that I'm kind of watching. So that'll be dropping tomorrow.
Well, Grinch and I have talked about how as AFOLs, like our tastes change, right? And how we engage with the hobby changes. And so I think it's interesting to see you with not only, right, because you're sort of like meta engaging with the hobby, because you're engaging with your hobby about the hobby that you like. And that is changing and fluctuating. But what stays consistent is you're still making YouTube videos. So
yeah,
I mean, I just think that's really cool. And another, great reminder for the AFOL community, like, whether you're collecting, you're selling, you're buying, you're trading, you're building mocks, like that one thing doesn't have to be like your singular thing, and you can change up, what you're doing and engage it in different ways depending on your life and what, motivates you to keep going. So yeah, I think that's wonderful.
That is a great point. Yeah, there's a ton of avenues and ways, to engage in the community and with Lego, which is really cool.
Has there been an investment that you were like really proud of, where you're like, I called it, it happened?
Well, I don't know if I called it, but I don't know if
I'll give yourself a little credit.
No,
as long as you don't say like the green grocer.
It's funny. No, I don't know if you ever saw this video. It's one of my not so good videos back in the day. I ended up I can't remember how I found this auction, but I found this auction. This guy, unfortunately, I hate to say it's not a fun story, but he passed away, and he was a massive Lego collector. He had probably 1,000 sealed vintage sets. And this auction in South Carolina ran this auction. His family, I guess, was auctioning off all his sets. So he was a hardcore AFOL, obviously. And somehow I came upon it, and I bid for like 3 weeks straight. They had these auctions running, and I ended up buying like, I probably spent $30K, but I think is the value. I forget what the actual value was, but it was $50K plus is what I got out of it. But there was one set in there that it was actually not an official Lego set. It was a mock from like a master builder that he of the Arthur Ravenel Bridge in South Carolina. They made this set for the newspaper in South Carolina as kind of like a giveaway. But it was actual Lego pieces. They made like a custom box for it. And I saw the set on like the auction, and no one was bidding on it. And it took a lot of digging on my part to finally figure out where the set came from. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy that, since no one else is. And I bought it. I paid like $130 for it. I sold it to a lawyer in South Carolina on eBay for over $3,000.
Wow.
Which was insane. Yeah. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, funny in that haul as well. I picked up a greengrocer. I picked up what's the original Cafe Corner sealed. 2 or 3 big modulars in that lot, as well as a lot of other things. So I did a bunch of videos on those. But that deal, I don't think I'll ever see anything like that again.
I didn't even know that set existed.
Well, like I said, it's not an actual Lego set. And like I said, you have to dig on the internet to find this thing.
Oh, I'm here. I'm interneting.
I
see it.
Can you see it?
Yeah, 10 years ago, the Post and Courier on Facebook. Have you snagged your Ravenel Bridge yet?
There
Only 400 will be sold. Get it before it's gone.
At the time when the auction was going on, I couldn't find much about it. And I'm assuming not many other people could either, because like I said, no one was putting any bids on it. And I think I found one listing somewhere where I saw that one listing had sold for 1,000 or 2 or whatever. So I was like, okay, this is definitely, there's some money to be had here. And then I ended up throwing it on eBay for just whatever, an absurd number, whatever I thought, potentially someone might bite on, and
they bid.
Yeah, didn't even put in an offer. Just paid the amount that I had, buy it now, shipped it out to him. Haven't heard from it since.
You'll
He's probably loving it.
Probably. He's probably a pretty big lawyer, so I don't think $3,000 is anything too crazy for him. Whoever it was.
I found this article on Facebook about the bridge, and there's a comment on there, and it says, not for $350. It might be worth $50 at most.
Well, so, I can
sir.
Do we have a story for you?
That's not true. I've got a real world experience with that set.
10 years ago, by the way, that was posted. So that did not age well.
No. I mean, I paid at least, I forget, $150, I think. So, maybe people thought that was high, but worked out well.
So you're engaging more with flipping too than necessarily like, hey, I'm going to go buy 10 copies of this sealed set and hang on to it for 10 years and then sell it. You're kind of doing a little bit of both?
In the past, I have more had the long-term approach. I've kind of changed a little bit over time. I feel like the last couple years, definitely the Lego investing side has changed quite a bit. I feel like it's cooled off a lot, one. And I mentioned this in my video for tomorrow, but I feel like it's cooled off a lot. But at the same point in time, you're seeing a lot of like 40, 50, 60% clearance deals. I don't remember that kind of clearance, back in, I remember 20, 30%, but 40, 50, 60 is high from what I remember. So, but it's also on sets that are more of a quick flip, like, going to Walmart, the Jurassics, the simple Ninjago sets. So I did buy up a lot of inventory last year, and I'm looking at that. Not so like I feel like those plateau quicker than maybe like the real collector's items. The 1989 Batmobile and the some of the just $300, $400, $500 sets, Mos Eisley Cantina. So I'm looking to get rid of those quick. Get the 60% off, flip it, double my money, take that, put it back into something similar or high end set that I will hold on for 2 or 3 years, and then get rid of that. So they said I'm limited on how much time I'm putting into it. That'd be the kind of the only limitation, because if I put the time all in buying and selling, I have little to no time over here. So I definitely have to kind of figure out exactly how much I want to do on that side. It's going to take away from YouTube, etc. Have either of you done any investing, or have you dipped into that at all? No. Okay.
I have a stock portfolio. No.
Okay. So more on the stock side.
But listening to you talk about it is so fascinating.
I dabbled a little bit, but not seriously.
Okay.
More out of curiosity. And then I was like, I move too much to be hauling inventory around with me everywhere we go.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's work. It's you don't just buy it and all of a sudden have double your money. So you do have to put the work in. But I built up a pretty solid store on eBay. Like I said, you'll be seeing some stuff here in the next week where I'm going to be starting to dip into something else as well. So yeah, it is a store, but there is definitely money to be made. There's no doubt about that. But you have to kind of know what you're doing.
And it seems like you have a lot of experience in it too, right? And I would imagine you have kind of your own habits and patterns of like you mentioned, going out to find stuff on clearance. I think the thing for me that I would get stuck on is I'd be like, well, I don't want this set. And it's like getting away from the fact that like you're not buying it because you like it. You're buying it because there's an opportunity to be had here.
Exactly. Yeah, I look at it also from the aspect of, hey, maybe I want a Silent Mary or something in the future. I've got something that, I could, hey, let's swap it. So I've got kind of collateral that way. But yeah, at the same point in time, those kind of sets for me, I've got kind of got my collection brain. These are sets that I want to build hopefully at some point. And then I also have the mindset of, hey, if I never get around to building it, I have a sealed, I bought multiple copies of Ninjago City when it was retiring. They were 30% off when it retired. So I bought a bunch of copies. I sold one. I've got one built here, and I've got one sitting sealed down in the box. And I paid, $200 for that. And that goes for what, $1,000. Wow. So,
more.
Yeah. It's a very expensive set. So yeah, it's a good way to fund the hobby as well, because it's not a cheap hobby. So if you want to be able to take cash in the future, hey, I put 200 into this, I'll sell it for 450. I've got 350 after my fees. I can take that 350 and do this in Lego with it. So it's been a good way. I have specific accounts I just use for Lego, and that that's what my money goes in and out of, just for this kind of the hobby side of it. If that makes sense.
I think you made an interesting point too. We've talked a little bit about it, with not about content creation or investing, but about engaging with the hobby. And so like if you build mocks, you have less time to build sets, and if you have a Lego City, you've got less time to focus on building a set or a collection, right? And if you invest, it's just time is always the deciding factor, right? It's the limited variable here that you can run out of very quickly. So it's a balance, isn't it?
It is. I'll tell you what.
Well, do you have any stories of like a set that you got and you're like, this is gonna do well, like this is gonna crush it, and then it just completely busts on you, like just falls so flat, and there's just no market for it? I mean,
Yeah,
I know I'm a
yeah.
huge fan of Hidden Side, but like those sets are not selling very well on the aftermarket.
No.
So
No, yeah. I mean, yes, definitely a lot of stories like that. Um I remember like in the beginning days, I was buying sets. This is kind of when I was still trying to get my mind wrapped around the whole concept of it, but I was buying sets. Like I remember Friends Central Perk when that first came out, it was just flying off the shelves. You could barely get your hands on it. And I really didn't understand fully. I knew, but I didn't know, that it was going to, eventually it was going to come in stock and it was going to stay there for 1, 2, 3 years. So I was just jumping on the hype and I was like, okay, I need to get my hands on these because you never know what could happen. And I bought like 5 of them at retail and then they just stayed on the shelf for 3 years and then they retired and they're still only like $20 over and above the retail. So I've had $300 in cash just sitting in these sets that just haven't really gone anywhere. I remember the other one was the Star Wars ATST with I forget which one specifically it was. It's retired at this point.
The Hoth one?
No, not the Hoth one. Hold on, I'll tell you.
Oh, the Mandalorian one, the Raider?
Yes.
mm-hmm.
You remember the controversy with the actor there, and
Yeah,
she's the only one that's the only set that has her minifigure in it, and it was retiring at the same time. So I was like, okay, I need to get my hands on that set, and I got a decent deal on them, so I bought like 5 or 6 of them, but that set has gone nowhere. So I've
I
had to
think it's still retail, right?
I haven't checked. I've kind of given up on it.
For the listener and the viewer who haven't seen it, it's one of the most modern ATSTs we've gotten, right? And it has like dark bluish gray and brown and red on it. I mean, it looks kind of like something from like Cyberpunk, like something that somebody spray painted over, and like it looks like there's rust on it, and like it looks really, really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I love that one from that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think it's a really cool set, and like I said, the Cara Dune minifigure, I thought maybe that would generate some hype. After it's gone, okay, you got to get that set to get Cara Dune, but it's just, hasn't done anything. Another one, I don't know if you guys were watching it at that time, but when COVID hit San Diego Comic-Con, it obviously wasn't running those years, and that first one that they didn't run, they liquidated all the sets and they put them up on Lego.com and they literally sold out immediately. But the one that went to like Walmart, the Wonder Woman set, that one I bought a whole bunch of. I was like, oh man, I mean, San Diego Comic-Con, and that one is just completely bombed too.
That you might. I don't even think you made your money back on that one. That one went from like 60 to 40.
I was getting him at like 30 or 40% off.
Okay,
I thought that was amazing, but I think it's still probably like 30% under retail for those things. So I've slowly gotten rid of those. I've kind of, over the last year, I'm like, okay, they're not going up. So let's just get what I can back out of them, and we'll put it into something else at this point.
Are you the guy on eBay that goes San Diego Comic-Con and Lord of the Rings, and it's just that set and like a helmet from Lord of the Rings, and you're like $100? Have you noticed people do that?
So, wait, say that one more time.
they'll do like clickbait eBay postings where it'll be like, Lego lot, San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. You're like, oh, cool. What's this gonna be? And it's just like that set, and then that's like the only. I know that's not you. I'm just teasing, but it's like, it's like like San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Star Wars, and you go to it, and it's like plus more, and like 90% of it is plus more. And like the San Diego Comic-Con mention is just that one set.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is hilarious. No. I've literally I think I've sold a few on Facebook Marketplace, a few on eBay. Like I said, made no money on them. and I think I still have maybe have one or two. Like I probably will keep. I actually think I think it's a cool set. I think it's worth more than $30. Just the box is cool. The fact that it is from San Diego Comic-Con, it was from that time, when COVID was going on. It's kind of a cool piece. So I'll definitely keep one in my own collection. But yeah, it apparently not a lot of people feel the same way.
Well, it's funny too how like it's connected to the success of the property, right? And like that was at that time we had the Wonder Woman 2 movie came out and it just completely bombed. And I remember they had the regular set on shelves, and that one was really cool because it was like this big satellite dish, and they had the gold Wonder Woman, and I mean, geez, they were like handing those things out at the end of the time that thing was on the shelves, and practically giving it away because just nobody wanted it.
And that surprised me as well, because I actually thought that was a decent set as well. So I don't know. My thought process is different, but I thought it was worth more than $30-$40 as well on that one. But just no one really gravitated towards it, I guess. But the movie did bomb, so I guess just the hype wasn't there. Now I will say, like I don't know if you guys got your hands on any of the other Comic-Con sets, but all the other ones have done well. The Nebulon B frigate, Black Widow, and Bespin Duel. I got maxed out the amount of copies I could get of all those, and those have all done really well. Just the Wonder Woman bombed.
No, I don't have any Comic-Con sets.
All right, what do you got? What do you got?
I have all the Marvel figures except for Spider-Woman and the original Spider-Man, where they so I think it was 2013. They normally would come out with 10,000 of each of them.
Yep.
And the 2013 figures, they came out with 10,000 of all of them combined.
Oh, jeez, okay.
And so those are the most super rare. Because there's nothing special about the Spider-Man or Spider-Woman. It's practically identical to the ones that came out in the retail set, but they're incredibly limited. And that Spider-Man goes for I think 12 or 15K now.
Wow.
And
that's insane.
I don't have those ones, but then I've got all the other ones.
No way.
And,
that's really cool. So
I've got quite a few.
I mean, does Deadpool falls into Marvel, right?
Yeah, I got Deadpool Sheriff.
You
and
got Deadpool
Duck.
Sheriff? Oh man, now that is one that I would want. That is one that I would want. That's cool.
Really annoyed because his hat, it's in the bubble package, and his hat was it was perfect, because he's got the cowboy hat.
Yep.
But it's too big, so it was pushing out on the bubble package.
Okay.
And I'm like, do I sit here and let this thing get damaged over time, or do I just slightly kind of force it to turn a little bit so that it's not bulging out of the packaging? So I just kind of took my thumb and just massaged it over a little bit, and now it's slightly sideways. So I'm like, okay, cool, because something was gonna give there and something was getting damaged. So I took it upon myself to fix it in the best way possible.
Nice. Hey, well, at least you got it. That's one thing a lot of people can't say.
Yeah, and I got those as I was collecting too, so I got them at a pretty good. I mapped it all out not too long ago, and let's just say it was profit.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine what all those go for.
Expensive at the time too, being $200 for a minifigure, and now I look back and I'm like, sweet.
So did you get most of them at Comic-Con, or are you buying them after the fact? On the third
after
party?
The fact, the best is always, you always buy them right afterwards. And I got the Miles Morales. I waited for that because that one was also COVID, and you were talking about, the Wonder Woman set ended up, I think, at you said, Walmart.
Yep.
But the Miles Morales one, the minifigure, they were just kind of we don't really know what to do with it. So what they ended up doing with it was giving it to Sony. And we're like, you guys give it away. So they gave it away to whoever 100%ed Spider-Man Miles Morales, the video game, on PlayStation 5. And of course, it was COVID, and it was impossible to get a PlayStation 5. So then they announced that they finally didn't start entering the market till 5 months later. So there was a while there where I was just kind of just watching, looking for any eBay posting to go pick one up, because you just couldn't get a PS5 too. I mean, it was. Yeah,
remember that
double whammy.
That's crazy. That's good to know though. So right after Comic-Con, that's the best time, huh?
Well, and now they haven't done it since, so
Yeah.
sad
Did they
times.
do one at this past San Diego Comic-Con? I didn't see. No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, nothing. Interesting.
No, they've just been
They
doing more
did.
of like
Yeah.
exclusive giveaway like patches and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Okay. That's on my list. I'd love to go to a Comic-Con at some point.
Yeah, I lived in San Diego and it's hard to get tickets.
I'll bet. Yeah, I've heard you
Yeah.
have to like what a year in advance. You know, right
You
after
sit
they.
there and refresh,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Did I get in? Did I get in?" It's like waiting room. You didn't get in.
Yeah. It's a pipe dream. Maybe at some point.
So you talked a little bit about kind of balancing creation and creating with Lego at content creation and creating with Lego Brick. How do you balance that though? I mean, when you're coming out with a video, is it are you like are you Adam Driver? Are you like one for me, one for you sort of thing? Like I'll go do Star Wars, I get a good paycheck, and then I'll go do a movie that nobody's going to hear about and win an Academy Award, or kind of
Yeah.
how are you balancing that?
So you're saying, let me make sure I'm understanding. So you're saying, how am I balancing the content creation with what I'm doing, with what I decide I want to do?
Just with what you create content wise.
What? How do I
you know,
figure out what I want to?
Yeah.
Well, in the past, it was always just what interested me, and I know there's the things that, hey, you do this, you're gonna get views. But for me, I don't know. I would rather make a piece of content that I like and that I enjoy making, that maybe I know will get less views, than just putting out something that, I know, it's got all the little sound, kid sound effects and this and that, and and not to say there's anything wrong with that, but just for me, I want to make something that's specific to what I enjoy. So that's a lot of what it was in the past. Just, what set did I enjoy and want to pick up? Okay, I'm going to go buy that. And I'm going to make a piece of content about it. It's definitely changed more now because of being in LAN. Obviously you do get to pick, like, these are the top themes that I like and gravitate towards, and you can pick like your first, these are definitely the ones that I really want to get, and then these are the ones that I might want to get, and then these are the ones that I don't want you to ever send me. And so
So you prioritize Gabby's Dollhouse, Duplo.
Yes, like Friends is at the top of my list. Cities at
Makes
the top.
Yeah. Don't ever send me Star Wars, Marvel. Like, I'll just buy those myself.
No icons.
So so now they're sending me, most of what is on my list, which is fine because I'd probably purchase it anyways. But and there's a lot of stuff that's not on there. Like I'm not going to get I do like DC and Marvel quite a bit. So, but Arkham Asylum, I won't get that because DC just didn't make it up far enough on the list, for me. So you're not going to get everything. But, a lot of the content now is, what's coming my way. What kind of a video am I going to make around that? How do I put a spin on it to make it a little bit more interesting than the typical video? And I'm like I said, I'm still playing around with that. I've got a few ideas for the future that I want to try, a little bit more of an artistic approach with. So we'll see what happens in the future. But a lot of it is dictated just by, LAN, honestly, nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, you could time is the limiting factor, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'll say this as well. Like, I have, over the past 5.5 years, kind of figured out some of the videos that I put out that I enjoy. These are the 10 that seem to always get views. So like, even coming into 2025, I had, I'll kind of map out my full 12 months, and I'll say, okay, the week of blank date, this video has to go out on this date because that video did very well the last 2 years. And I'll even kind of look at analytics on YouTube and the different channels and the way mine kind of ties into it, and maybe tweak the date just a little bit, but the same type of content. Like, you take the video I'm putting out tomorrow. I put it out for 3 years. It's always done very well. Hopefully it does well again this year, but you never really can tell. But it's always done well in the past. It's always done well when I put it earlier, more in the summer versus the fall. So I've kind of learned a little bit of, this is what hits, this is what doesn't hit. Stay and still staying in the lane of stuff that I want to do. And so, I'll have those 10 videos that, are definitely have to go out, and then I'm going to fill in all the gaps with, okay, I don't know what's releasing, so that's whatever there is going to release, and I'm going to do reviews on those. Will fill some of those gaps, and then there'll also be things that kind of spurred thought processes in my mind along the way where I'm like, okay, that's a video that's outside of reviews and this and that I do want to do as well. So I try to have a plan in place. Like I pretty much know the next 2 months what's all going to be coming out, really to the end of the year, but solidly week by week for the next 2 months, I pretty much know what's coming, and I'm kind of working on it essentially now. Like I'm ordering things and doing whatever I need to do to kind of prep for those videos.
What I'm hearing is a lot of intentionality behind what you're doing, right? And a lot of purposefulness. And so it's really cool to hear just how seriously you take that and how much time and energy and efforts put into it. It's not just as simple as recording yourself and throwing a video onto YouTube, right? Like you're really trying to take advantage of as much of the information that you have at your disposal as possible, but also to, like you said, right? Like still trying to engage in this in a way that is ultimately fulfilling for yourself as well.
Yeah. No, and I enjoy it. It has kind of somewhat become like a second job, no doubt about it. Like it's definitely, I probably put in a good 40 plus hours a week with this outside of the regular job. But yeah, I treat it more like that because, I know I'll do what I need to do, and, I find it just it's working better, and for me it hasn't taken away from the hobby. I still enjoy just as much seeing the new release come across and the pictures, and no way I got to grab that set, I got to build it, so it hasn't taken away, at least yet, any of that for me. So I still enjoy it.
I think I mentioned I did YouTube videos before, so I tip my hat to you because it's there. I mean, you're talking about just now working on a video for essentially what is 2 months from a planning, and I mean it's there's a long lead time.
Yep.
And you could spend 8 hours editing 8 minutes, and
yeah.
So
I know.
West and I are very happy in our podcast lane, but I applaud you for going the video route, and more power to you. I mean, your work is great, and it does show that you enjoy it when you watch it. So
no, I appreciate that. But I mean, essentially, you guys are essentially doing the same. You definitely. I mean, even for this, you had to plan well in advance. So I mean, it's a lot along the same lines. So yeah, it's the YouTube game. I mean, those Lord of the Rings sets, I just mentioned them. I purchased, every one from 2012. That'll be hopefully a series that will start in the fall time. So we'll see how the timeline exactly works out on that.
Sealed?
Yeah, all sealed. The only one that was partially was Helm's Deep, and the only reason I bought it unsealed is because normally it goes for like 600 to 700. Someone had it on eBay for 430, and the box was perfect. Most of the bags were sealed, but the ones with the minifigures in it were not sealed. They had taken them out just to look at them and then put them back in like a baggie. So it's pretty much sealed, but every other one is sealed. Amazing box. So awesome. That'll be fun.
Will you leave them sealed, or are you going to open those up?
They're going to be opened. It's kind of sacrilege to say that, but they will be opened.
You asked us if we liked Lord of the Rings, and it is, Grinch and I have mentioned this on the channel many times, but it is, I think, not only is it Grinch's favorite theme, I think that's fair to say, Grinch. Is that correct? We both
my
have
favorite
said
book. It's my favorite movie. It's my favorite Lego theme.
we think this is Lego's best theme, in our opinion. We think there's nothing else that can compare.
I'm going to be right there with you guys on that. I mean, the Lord of the Rings and the minifigures that they come out with in the series and the sets, the movies are obviously amazing as well. But yeah, I'm with you guys.
My birthday's in November, and so Lord of the Rings kind of brought me, I guess, like halfway out of my dark age. I guess it was the first Lego sets I purchased after being a kid. You know, I wasn't fully back into the hobby, though I just dabbled a little bit with Lord of the Rings. And I won't tell all the story, West, because it's a little bit embarrassing. I can tell you later, Rick West, offline. But it was my 20. It was around the time of my 21st birthday, so I was able to legally drink alcohol. So I remember it was. I think I didn't like have any New Year's plans. I was in college and just didn't have any. I was back home, you know. And so I was building the Tower of Orthanc, drinking a beer, and I was like, "This is cool.
Oh,
like
man.
I'm just chilling." And then I got a call from Wes saying, "I need you to come pick me up." So that's a story for another day. but I really enjoyed building that Lego set. There's 2 reasons I'll never forget that night, because of Tower of Orthanc and picking up my brother who had a little too much fun. So
well, your very responsible brother who decided to call back and ask for help, right? And let's be fair there.
Very good, very very good. Just had to go pick up the car the next day too. But you paid your due.
Doubly
eventually.
Responsible.
You paid your due eventually. No, I was actually just at Brick Fair and I did some vignettes.
I think I saw that. I think I saw.
Yeah,
I saw on your YouTube.
It won an award for best vignette. So
yeah,
I
that's
did
awesome.
Weathertop. So
Congratulations,
it was really
on
cool.
That.
Yeah, thank you.
That's one thing I just have not been able to kind of wrap my head around, and mock building and kind of this where to start, how to do it. And you obviously have a talent for it, but that's just something I have not been able to grasp yet. Maybe at some point I'll give it a deeper dive.
It's what makes the hobby so special. I mean, there's so many ways you can engage with Lego. Whether you're just a set builder, whether you're just a family guy, building a set with your son like you started out, right? Whether you're building mocks or creating content around I mean, there's so many different avenues you can go down. It's really what makes it cool.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you seem like pretty easygoing dude, jovial. You kind of just you make what you like, sort of thing. So was LAN always a goal, or was it you were just making content for fun? Or like, I guess I can do this too.
Yeah, I think pretty much the latter. Like I never, I didn't even know what LAN was when I first kind of got started into it. And then I think somewhere along the way, I kind of figured out, oh, okay, people are, in this program and they're getting, sets that they can review early. And it's not so much, for me, it was never like, oh, I get the set for free. Like that is a nice perk. But I've bought tons of Lego over the years. It's more just the ability to get it early and to be able to put out the content early is really where the benefit is for that I always saw. So eventually I was like, oh, okay, and to be transparent, I think I applied in 2021, got denied. 20 or maybe it was 2020, one of the two, and then I think I left a year, didn't really do anything with it. I was like, it wasn't really a big deal to me. Following year I was like, let me apply again, got denied again, and then last year I wasn't even going to, but just like one day all of a sudden I was just like, I'm just going to throw an application in. I had already kind of decided not to, and then for whatever reason I decided let's just do it, and somehow got accepted. I don't know. So it was never really the end goal, but it was, it's definitely a perk.
But let's also acknowledge, like, you're putting in a lot of work, right? You said you're putting in almost 40 hours a week on creating Lego content. Obviously not all of it is for LAN, but when LAN sends you a set, right, the expectation is, you are making content for it, so that it is available around the time the set is available to the public, right? Because they're trying to, like you mentioned, lead the public release of the set with the videos. So like,
Yep.
you have a deadline, you've got a set that you've got to critique. You generally probably have to build it, right? So like, you got to take some time out of the day to like do all of that. So for the listener who's sitting there going like, man, LAN is just like a way to get free Lego. Like, I mean, you do get free Lego, but there is, there's a give and a take in that relationship. And, we've certainly seen some people who have commented that it's maybe not for everybody or not for the faint of heart, but it also seems like it's something that you've really excelled at, and you've kind of went in knowingly and are kind of thriving in that environment. So.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it'll make you think twice, like, because yes, when they send you that review offer, okay, I've already got 6 irons in the fire, and now they're sending me another email with another set that they want to send to me, and that's it's great, but it's like, where am I gonna fit that one in? So there's I've said no to several at this point. I try to take as many as I can, but yeah, I mean, there is at least my experience so far, they've been kind of keeping a pretty steady flow, coming. Obviously they've been releasing a lot of sets this year, so you can only do so much, especially if you're trying to make a little bit more quality on the actual content itself, take more time on the editing, that kind of stuff. So that definitely plays into it. It kind of gets to where I'm like, do I want to drop the quality and push out more videos, or do I want to keep the quality up but do less? And you kind of have to find that balance.
The correct answer is hire an editor and do both. No.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that's the dream.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. That's the
Will
dream.
you accept payment in Lego?
Yeah.
I got a cool bridge.
Yeah, that's it.
So I've got one more question for you. We've enjoyed having you on, but I got one more fun question for you.
Okay.
If Lego could make any minifigure of your choosing, who would it be, or what would it be? They sometimes do animals and whatnot as minifigures, and why?
There's two things that come to my mind when you say that. So one, like when you said animals there, that it actually just popped into my head. I was really disappointed when they did the Dungeons and Dragons castle and they made the animals brick built. Like they didn't look. Most of them didn't look good. Not all of them, but most of them just didn't. They just don't look good brick built. But when you look at like a single molded Rancor or a Dewback, or they just look so much better than just like a single plastic mold. So like I would love to see them start to do that with Dungeons and Dragons, something like that. If I were to say completely out of the box, which they'll probably never do, I would love to see them do like a full like Fallout theme, like and they probably will never do it, but Fallout, and make some of the the armor, and have the vault suits and the whole, like the TV show I thought was really cool. So, and the video games, I didn't play a ton of the video games, but I did play it back when like I think Fallout 3 or 2 was out. But I just like the concept behind it. I think it's fun, but we'll probably never see that.
Brick Fair, Virginia, there was a lot of Fallout this year.
Was there?
There might have been 10 Fallout mocks.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, there was. I mean, there's a demand out there somewhere.
I know Brick Mania has the figures, but I don't know. I at least up to this point have tried to stay very much of a purist mentality. Like I don't like to go outside of the bubble if I don't have to. And it's cool stuff. Brick Mania makes great stuff. I have built one of their tanks, but I don't really like to sprinkle in too much, third party stuff I kind of feel like I'm, infecting my Lego collection, if you will. There's too much here. I don't know what's real, what's actual,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it is cool. Maybe I'll end up getting it from Brick Mania, but I'd love to see Lego do official stuff with that.
We'll never say never, right? Because we never thought we'd get Lego Pokemon, and
That's true.
You know,
That's true.
we know it's
Yeah,
happening.
but Fallout is on a different level of
Well, that's fair.
maturity.
That's fair.
One was a
That's fair.
licensing issue. The other's more of like a aligned morals issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe if Lego, you know, comes out with its adult theme line of sets, that's, you know, so
They'd have to eventually kind of cross a line somewhere with kind of dabble just in a little bit of like guns and that kind of stuff outside of like, you know, fantasy from what they say. But will that ever happen? I don't know. But if they cross that, then maybe they could start making some more stuff.
You know, it is fantasy, it is sci-fi, right? It's an alternative
that's true.
50s reality. So,
actually
you
is
know,
true.
work
Yeah.
for Star Wars, like, you know.
Yeah,
Just
that's a
saying.
good point. That's a good point. I was going to say it is hard to kind of figure out exactly how they think about that stuff, you know, because Star Wars, there is so much with guns and spaceships and this and that, and it's, you know, yes, it is fantasy, but I don't know. You've got castle, you know, medieval. That's not fantasy. I mean, that was actually real life back in the day. I did a whole video on like, is Lego really against war? So
Oh, we'll have to watch that.
yeah, it didn't do great, but I put a lot of work into it. I thought it was a really good video. So
Well, you're gonna have one more view tonight. I'll tell you
yeah,
that.
it's called "Is Lego Really Against War?" is what it's called. But what were you gonna say, West?
Well, I was gonna say one of the things that Grinch and I talked about last year was, you know, the possibility. We had a whole episode on, you know, like rated R Lego and like, you know, what would be interesting to see, and then, you know, why we don't see it, obviously. And I think it was in our episode where we talked about things they could improve or do or whatever. You know, between the two episodes, right? Like you could see a world where there's like a spin-off from Lego that does dabble in that, and it's official Lego product, just not licensed under the Lego name.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they change the
Yep.
the name or whatever, but it's the same manufacturing company, it's the same plant, the pieces are the exact same, but you could see them do that, and then that way they're like, hey, you know, our corporate values at Lego are still intact, but we have, you know, this whole side separate brand, you know, much like the car companies have like, you know, their core brand, and then they have like their other brand that they have too, right? But they can share parts, right? Like I could totally see something like that with Lego eventually, if enough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Very interesting thought. I never really thought about that, but yeah, that is a good way that they could kind of do it without the controversy, maybe as much.
Lego, if you're listening, Grinch, West, Brick Quest, we're all here. We all were here when this idea was formulated.
Yeah.
Did you call it Ogle, Grant?
I did, yeah, because Ogle was the villain from Alpha Team,
Yeah.
which it's also Lego backwards. So they can just call it Ogle and be like, no, turn that brick upside down. Ogle.
Nice.
Well, Lukas, thank you for joining us. We certainly had a fun time talking with you, and thank you for getting, you know, a little bit personal about how, you know, you've changed a little bit, and kind of giving the listeners a peek behind the curtain here for how you produce content, and we certainly appreciated having you on.
No, yeah, absolutely.
thank
It was great hanging out, and I appreciate you guys having me on.
Brick Mail. All right. Thank you so much, Lukas, for coming to the show. We really appreciated having you on and chatting through, you know, your process, your journey, you know, engaging with content creation. And it's clear you've got a lot of passion for that area, and it certainly shows in not only your work, but how you talk about it. So thank you again so much for joining us. West, are you ready for Brick Mail?
I am.
Well, we have a iTunes review here from mtink42. 5 stars. I love listening to you all chat every week. As an AFOL who builds mocks with my sister, I very much enjoy this podcast. Also, I am a sneakerhead, and I love the collab with Nike, and I have not
There
been
we
able
go.
to get a set yet, but I do like them. We sent a call out last week. We said, please, if you're a sneakerhead, let us know. So officially, we love the Nike collab, West. We love it now, just like Mr. mtink42 over here. So I hope I'm putting the emphasis on the right letter there. But appreciate the review. Glad that you enjoy listening to the show while you mock build with your sister. Glad to
Could
have
be
you.
Mountain Ink, like a tattoo artist.
Oh man, Yeah.
MT ink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
M10 K42.
Yeah. That's also
Yeah.
a possibility.
Yeah. There's so many. It's amazing.
Yep.
Thank you for the review. We certainly appreciate it, and we are glad you're enjoying the show.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for writing in.
Wes, do you want to take us on to our next brick mail?
Yes, and this will be our last one today, and it is a little bit longer. So, audience members and listeners, please
Buckle up.
in. But we got this from a Dr. Billy who writes, Grinch and West, longtime listener, first time caller here. I just wanted to say how much I enjoy your podcast. It makes my Monday commute something I look forward to every week. I came out of my dark ages about a year and a half ago when we transitioned my 3-year-old from Duplo to some of my Lego sets that had been in storage. I read that toddlers sometimes get bored and start acting up because of it, and that regular Lego under supervision can provide the right mental challenge. That was the push I needed to transition them from Duplo to regular Lego. Sure enough, my kids instantly fell in love with my old Pirates, medieval, and Western sets, and they loved running my childhood 9-volt train too. One of my favorite episodes you've done was the one about therapeutic benefits of Lego. As a veterinarian and business owner, I can say Lego has truly helped my mental health. It's become my way to unwind while also connecting with my kids after long days of surgery and medical cases. I also really enjoyed your recent episode about buying used Lego. One of my AFOL friends only buys new sets, but I quickly realized how much more I could expand my collection by letting someone else open the box first. I've especially enjoyed the hunt for retired sets. I've had great success using Goodwill's app, Shop Goodwill. As of today, there are over 6,000 active Lego listings on there. Some of my best finds have come from bulk boxes that happen to include gems like Barracuda Bay, the Maersk train, and even a few Disney castles. Thanks for everything you do. I really appreciate the community you've built. Best, Dr. Billy.
What a bunch of good finds.
Yeah. I'm still thinking like, dude, you're letting your kids play with like pirate and Western sets. Like, oh, those are such like, heirloom pieces. You need to set those aside and protect them. The 9-volt train.
Just gnawing on the 9-volt. La, 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 la.
No, I think that's so wonderful to hear. And clearly like those sets were ones that both Grinch and I like really loved playing with as kids, especially the 9-volt train. And so it's really cool to hear that your children today are still like getting a lot out of it. Grinch, we went and actually looked up, Goodwill's listings today, right before we recorded. Lots on there. Very true. Over 6,000 active listings. So there's a lot of good finds on Goodwill, shopgoodwill.com.
I just want to say, Dr. Billy, if you ever find yourself at Brick World or Brick Fair upcoming, come say hi. I'm sure, based off your profession, we could have a couple of good conversations. So
we have
appreciate everything you do for animals out there.
We have a family that is veterinary adjacent, and Grinch, you used to work in a vet hospital, and your wife did as well, and so we have a lot of love for the veterinary industry and vets themselves. So,
brother, we're not veterinary adjacent; we're in the industry. So
fair enough. That's true.
And as Wes said, I met my wife at a vet clinic. So we could probably swap some good stories. So war stories for another day. Thank you for writing in, Dr. Billy.
Thank you.
And that is a wrap of another episode of AFOLs Welcome. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you're listening to this show. If you would like to write the podcast, please email us at afolswelcome@gmail.com or follow us on Instagram at AFOLsWelcome. Thank you for listening, and we will catch you on the next one.
Goodbye.